Welcome. This week and next week, hopefully, we're going to be making a text based adventure game. And it's a much bigger project than the ones we've been doing so far. My game currently stands at about 230 lines of code, I believe, and I'll probably keep adding to it as we go on. And when we start to get that big, we sort of need something as a bit of a guide, as a bit of a plan. And in the game industry, we generally refer to that as a game design document. These can be very, very long with lots of detail. If we're talking about a AAA game, it would be massive with all sorts of things and artwork and everything. Ours is going to be very, very simple. I really want this to be useful. I don't want it to be something that's just a requirement that you don't find useful. I think it'll be useful for you when you're making the game, and I think it'll be useful for me when I'm marking and playing the game and able to sort of see an overview of your game here. So you have a template in your assignment. Basically, we have the title you'll enter up here, a really brief summary of the plot, maybe 2 sentences or 3 sentences, just very, very, very short. And then we're going to be creating a game map, not so much a real world map, but a map as to which areas you can access other areas from and what might be there. Okay, I'm going to get started. Now, I've already made my game, so I'm going to be very, very confident when I make this, and I'm going to do everything at the start. But you probably won't be able to plan everything up front. You might do a little bit of work on this document and then just keep developing it as you make the game and change it. It has to be a living document, as they call it, unless you're one of the very rare people who have something just ready to go in your head and it doesn't change much. But hopefully it does change and it develops. I'm going to call my game The Oracle Returns, and you can see it on the website. And for plot, I'm going to say you find yourself unconscious on a beach and have to find your way back home. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Like I said before, this is not like a physical map. You don't have to be drawing trees and bushes and whatever. It's just a general idea of what areas you might be able to go to in the game. So my plan is to start on a beach. Um, I might just make that a bit bigger, maybe too big. Beach. Um, and then from the beach, I have a forest, and I'm going to be able to travel between the beach and the forest in my game. Now, hopefully, you've had a chance to play my game and a few other games. I really, really suggest you don't start with more than, say, 3 areas. You can add things on later, but if you start with, 15 areas, unless you're planning on spending 3 or 4 hours a night on top of your in-class time, it's just not going to get done. So please just start with a few areas. I think technically I have 4 here, but 3 would be a really, really good amount to start with. Okay, I'm going to then go and get a shape. I'm going to get one of these arrows with 2 heads, just to indicate that I can move in both directions. Sometimes you might not be able to move in both directions. Let's say you jumped, you know, skydived off a cliff or something, then you wouldn't be able to go back in that direction. But hopefully, there's free travel between the beach and the forest for me. I'm also going to make a location which is outside the house, and then inside the house is going to be where the oracle lives. And again, it's not a map to scale or anything. It's just so I can see roughly, what I can go to. For example, I'm going to make it that I can't go from the forest to the house. So there are trees blocking the way. Um, I'm just Control C, Control Ving all of these things. So I can move between these two. I can move between those two. And I'm also going to get another shape here, which is going to be the intro. And the intro only runs once. So it'll just set the scene for the game, and I don't want that running every time I go back to the beach. So I'm going to make a little intro here. I'll put the intro here, and that will only be in one direction. That I can go. So the games will start at the intro, it will go to the beach, and then there's free movement between all of these areas. Like I said, you might not initially be able to plan all of your areas. You might just plan one area and just change this document as you go along. But the idea is that when you submit your game, you'll submit this, and this will make it a lot easier for me navigating the game, and it'll hopefully make it easier for you when you're writing the code, because you'll be able to see clearly what you need to link up. So please make sure you are making this during the game, and that you're not coding anything you haven't put down on here first. Feel free to change it at any time, and that should just live. You can open up the one on Classroom, and that should live in there, and it automatically gets submitted when you submit the assignment.